All right, welcome everyone, Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Space Brothers, episode 15.
Please get Fukuda replacement pair of glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're having a team actually form here amidst Team A, and actually starting to see the redemptive and wholesome sides of all of them here.
That's right.
You know, there's hope for you, Nita.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you need to be able to do this if you're going to be in space with each other for 6 months.
Right.
That's kind of important.
Right.
And not just important, necessary.
It's mandatory. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But given that we now know our very intelligent Naoto rocket researcher backstory with his
daughter.
His daughter and everything, it's just
is all grown up now.
Yeah.
Even if you do see her again. Mm-hmm. Ouch.
Yeah.
But that's the past. What do you do now?
What do you do now?
Right.
So, all right, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this.
ナスダさんには
まだ見せてないです。今日午後から来るんで。理事長なんて言うかな。もうちょっと様子が見たいとか言いそうじゃないですか。
I'm guessing he doesn't want them to know that he's the one who requested it.
至急福田さんに新しいメガネを。
一の時間当てクイズ。
乗った時と降りる時に走行メーターをチェックしたんだよね。なんやて
Did they catch that it was total bullshit?
カメラにしっかり映ってたよ。難波君だけが確実にあの時計を見て隠さずに見せようと言った時計をね。
Wow.
が椅子のネジにも気づいた男だ。はったりにしては計算の辻褄も合ってるし、何より他のメンバーが説得されてる様子がわかる。ってことは
Which means...
合うんだろ緑のあれ。
仕事ですから。
The green ones?
Oh, what's this?
見られるメンバー以外の顔は管制室にいる。
Oh my god.
この医師の顔なのだ。
What a character.
What a character.
わかりやすいね。
Because his hair's
私の
so
顔を見た
weird.
時のテンションの波具合が。俺の健康基準はそこですか。じゃあ健康だ。バブー。
Wow.
まだ大丈夫ですよ。実はいい知らせがあります。あ？古谷君からのプレゼント。
Ah.
Yeah.
福田さんメガネ
Yeah. He's like, what?
Yeah.
ありがとう、古谷君。
何が俺は何も言うてへんで。
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
何も言うてへん。
I
Yeah.
didn't. This is true.
All right.
Fun.
まただ。誰か鳴ってますよ。誰だよこんな真夜中に。
Yeah, who would do that? Is it going to come back on again? Oh, they're just monitoring to see how... Oh my gosh.
They're doing that.
みんな一回起きて。
That's brutal.
That's cruel.
男性に何度聞いても中での問題は自分たちで解決してくださいの一点張りだ。
Yeah.
解決策を。僕は犯人を割り出すのが解決策だと思いますけど、この中にいるんでしょ。
Why?
Not necessarily. That's an assumption.
僕が寝室の通路で寝るよ。アラームが鳴ったらすぐに音の出所を見つける。真壁さん、自分だけ犠牲になって正義の味方ですか？
No, I'm actually just playing good guy.
Yeah,
I'm
you keep
actually-
saying trying.
自作自演で問題解決。みんなの信頼を得るための点数稼ぎと思われても仕方ないですよ。
Okay, or maybe I'm just helping out.
わかった。
Then you
じ
do
ゃあ
it.
こうしよ
Yeah.
う。くそ。なんで僕がこんなとこ。
You're being a paranoid bitch.
Yeah.
ちょっと待てよ。さっきの会話の流れ。あくまで主導権を取ろうとしてる僕の考え。
Now, a clever man would put the poison into his own cup.
このアラーム騒動。どうしたらいいんだ。
みんなないで
What?
なくなってるで起きてってなあはよはよ
朝からうるせえな。
Yeah, what is
What's
it? What is
gone?
it?
言ってんだよなくなるわけないだろ嘘ちゃうわ
おはようございます。あ、時計がない。
Ah,
All right.
interesting.
時計なら
Fucking with
昨
the
日
passage of
お前ら
time.
が使ってただろ。
Well, they're giving them each team something to potentially have to like
You have to
solve an
bicker
internal
about.
problem.
Right. Something goes wrong that they can't necessarily explain.
管制に聞いてみるよ。
Yeah.
ああ、
Same
こちら
thing.
A 班福田です。
Solve it internally.
かったら全く時間わからんくなるで
Right.
了解しました。
なんだって
それが
Yeah. Yeah. This is cool.
見つけたんですけど、
Wait.
冷蔵庫の上に。
Oh.
Was it reset and they won't know what time it is?
なんやこれ
Oh. Wow.
Okay.
こんなことしたやつ
I love it because
Yeah.
this could be control, but it doesn't have to be.
Right.
It's got a very high likelihood of being that.
Yeah.
But then they would have to open the doors, not wake them.
Right.
いるん
Fun.
ですか？この中に。
Yeah, like the beeping alarm in Group B's situation is a lot more like easy for it to be them.
新しい課題を入れておきました。15分以内に準備してください。
Oh. The timing is very, very curious.
Yeah.
箱の蓋を開けてください。
Oh. That's fun.
Oh, that's
Naya kore?
brutal.
Yeah.
全部しろ
Oh no.
絵がなきゃ一個ずつ当てはめていくしか方法はない。
それでは始めてください。
Wait, so
All right.
they all have their own puzzle?
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because it would be way more than 180
Well, so
pieces.
classic.
If they put 'em
Find the
together.
edge pieces, find the corners. This is
Right.
not hard. Start sorting pieces by type because there's
Sure.
going to be a lot of duplicates, and you want to be able to know. Well, it's not going to be this 4 piles here. It's going to be something in this
Right.
pile.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd have this done in like an hour and a half or two. Like,
もたより時間食うなくそ残り時間がわからん
Yeah, the no clock thing would definitely be stressful.
あれやねん時計壊したやつ
Right, so now this is just a point of stress to.
時間配分もできへんちゅうねん
俺はてっきり古谷がまた踏み壊したと思ったけど。
Stepped on the clock that's on the wall.
課題なら時計がなくてもやる。
yep.
Right.
出たからすぐに見つけたんちゃうの伊藤さん
私？
怪しい点が多いねんすでに作業着姿やったし
Okay.
より早起きしてたわけやろなんで時計に気づかへんねん
All right, but how about the motivation question?
Yep.
の練習に夢中だったからです。
It's the whole thing where they're astronauts. They're supposed to be kind of smart, but they're
But
like
they're yeah.
they're
Like-
actually laughably dumb.
Right, like you know that this whole thing is a test, so that should be like the first thing that you think of, right?
Right.
なんやねん自分が犯人か
I'm about to white knight so hard right now.
Yes.
宇宙の話をしよ
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Space. What are we being tested on? How
Right.
well we would do in space. Yeah.
ギリギリ君に届くトーンだ。丸聞こえの会話よりこっちの方が気になるだろ
Dude.
I love his paranoia so
Yeah.
much.
う。ってほとんどみんな家族持ちだったじゃないですか。今みたいに20代の独身
I mean, they are doing the edges, so they are
Right.
doing this the right way.
これからの火星ミッションじゃさらに独身の飛行士は増えると思うんですよね。地球に残す心配事は少ないに越したことはないし
Sure.
自分の子供の身に何か起こっても地球まで助けに戻れないですからね。
Man is locked in.
返し
Man
の
is
中で
absolutely locked
少しず
in.
つ脳裏に焦燥感を植え付けてや
Payback for the alarm, so he's giving payback for something that was just a suspicion off of nothing.
じゃ3次試験に行ってくるよ。
God, he's so cool.
カッ
Yeah. Cape.
yeah.
and then he's gonna be like, what the fuck does cape mean? Like,
Right.
僕たちは宇宙飛行士になるんだから。
I like that Nita's still doing the puzzle. He still wants to win, you know?
別して言うね。学級委員長か。
学級委員長
He actually, like, just drew that in his mind right there.
Yeah.
But what were you going to
Yeah.
say?
ここはどこだ？
自分、頭大丈夫かなもん、JAXA の試験会場に決まっとるやろ。
No. Wrong. Yeah.
ここは宇宙だ。
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. These things happen.
JAXA の人が宇宙の窓をつけてくれたのはそのためだよ。
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Great.
チが24時間っていうのは地球だけの話ですもんね。
確かに火星の1日は地球より39分長い程度だけど、
Larger planet, slow rotation.
に出て火星に向かう船の時計がぶっ壊されたとするよな。その時宇宙飛行士の俺らはどうするか。
We don't care.
星香さん、不思議ですね。
頭の中でいろいろ考えてるんだろうな。
Did bro just do that?
現場の言う目的やったら時計を回収すればいいだけの話やろ。難波が犯人か。俺の目はごまかされへんぞ。
Yeah, you definitely shouldn't be an astronaut, my guy.
Oh, maybe my plant theory was right.
してあんなことしたんだ。
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
福田さん。
Or
But we also got his backstory and stuff, so...
yeah. Yeah. He could be a plant. I did kind of suspect that he was kind of the most likely to be a plant. 'Cause
Right.
He's so old, right? But yeah, who's to say?
Okay.
That's fun. I like that we then have the reveal of someone was specifically like up there doing it. So it's, oh, we don't have any question as to who did it, but it's the why, the motivation question now. Cool. Ah,
Okay.
well, we
So-
got a couple little twist story related things here. We've got an alarm going off in Team B's little unit here,
In the
and
middle
we've
of the
got
night.
a broken clock in Team A's unit,
Right.
Which is not a mystery because apparently Fukuda broke it.
Yeah,
And
Mutsu
broke it
saw it.
very intentionally. Muta not only saw it, but didn't tell anybody about it.
Right.
Most likely, JAXA crew does know that he knows that because that's why they were like, wow, he's such a mystery. Like, why is he not telling them?
Yeah.
Why is he not, doing this here?
Right.
And I think that if this is something that Fukuda did, the reasons for Fukuda to doing it, as far as like a way to win or something, just don't track with me. So I like the plant theory a little bit more, but again, we know his backstory, so him being a plant doesn't make sense there either.
Right.
So
he is legitimately trying to be an astronaut. Now,
well, that's the thing.
okay.
He quit his rocket
That's
development
true.
thing
That's
to
true.
suddenly be an astronaut.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense, actually.
yeah, okay.
So
Yeah.
no, I don't think he necessarily wants to be an astronaut. He wants to prove himself to his daughter that all his
Sure.
time wasn't wasted. Doing this might have something to do with that, but there's nothing that I can immediately detect that would like draw the connection there.
Right. So the thing that I think is the elephant in the room that we need to bring up, because none of the characters are doing it,
Yes.
and it's weird that they're not,
Yeah.
is this is a test. They know it's a test. When things go wrong, cool. That's part of the test.
Right.
With how carefully controlled an environment this is, right? You can kind of assume that if something like weird enough to be like disrupting, the general flow of things happens, that could be part of the test, right?
Right.
Now, just because you know that doesn't necessarily mean that fixes everything.
Yeah.
And it might be something where, they don't just want you to do something because this is a test, right?
Right.
But that could maybe inform you the things that they're trying to either test you on and or teach you, right? Like this could become then a teaching experience of...
Oh, it absolutely is one. But
right.
It's whether or not they would be cool
Yeah,
to...
exactly.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong that basically makes us get suspicious of each other while we're in space, right?
Right.
How do we handle that? Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good point. Because, we hadn't really thought of that, and we've been thinking of each other as competition. But no, that would be a big problem if suddenly some interpersonal issue, blew up while you're on some 6-month mission.
But that's what Muta did bring up. So, Muta did bring it up. It's just that from his perspective, he's in the, it's pointless to get into this because we're on a test. Like, we're in space. Like, we're not here, with JAXA or anything like that.
Right.
That is not
we're
where
in a place
we're at.
where, days don't really mean anything because we're in space. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the point?
Yeah.
And I like that he's bringing this up as this is the immersive thing to do, but he knows the answer, but he doesn't know why. And I think that that's a very smart person's thing to do. Is just because you know why it might have happened at all, meaning it's part of the test, you don't necessarily know why they did this test. Why did they make it, not obvious to everybody? Why did they basically, potentially risk having, if it was somebody sneaking in, why would they potentially risk the test's integrity by bringing in a person into the sealed environment?
Right.
Now, that could all be a lie. It doesn't matter. But the point is, these are the questions you have to ask. So the idea that Furia does actually bring up they wouldn't just put somebody in here from the sealed environment. Like, there'd be noise. We might hear it. There's all kinds of things that could go wrong with that.
A lot of practical issues with that happening.
Right. But it doesn't change the fact that even if somebody did break it, even if somebody did start doing sabotage things, you'll never figure out who it is by, going and being like, I'm going to question everybody and figure it out this way.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, even if someone did do it to sabotage, they are risking their whole thing with this because they have cameras and everything. So
yes, that's another great point. Yeah,
they're all being monitored.
And on top of that, bringing it up when you're in that 3-hour time limit thing, right? That's not gonna help. Right?
Right. And so I understand I, as a member of this team, need to protect the team by figuring out who is the traitor in this team.
Sure. Or being personally frustrated because now, I don't know what 3 hours is,
Sure.
Yeah.
But even then, what does that gain for the actual, test overall? It doesn't really gain anything.
Right.
If anything, though, I do really like that the paranoia has set in for at least one member of each of these teams here, and the paranoia should be setting in hard because that's really how fast these things actually would work out, is that if you're not mentally ready for this kind of stress, you can start building your own little universe in your head about what's actually going on when there's no evidence to support it at all.
Yep. And then there's not really much that can be done, right? I love that with Makabe's situation. It's okay, this is, this person is getting all suspicious and all of these things and, starting to be accusatory, right? Oh, everybody said they didn't do it, so maybe let's be less accusatory, right?
Sure,
Not even saying that, you are incorrect with trying to figure out what happened or anything like that, right? And then it's okay, well, if that's the situation, I'll do this. And he's trying to, be the goody two shoes, leader person. Take one for the team. No, he's actually being very accommodating for you.
Yes,
and then when he brings that up, it's okay. Well, the natural logical conclusion for that is that you wouldn't trust anyone else to do it because then that would be them trying to suck up and get points. So
then you do it.
Right. And the idea that it cut to him being out there, not they decided he would be out there. He decided he would be out there.
Yeah.
And then that's the moment when he just realizes, wait, shit.
Am I an idiot?
Yeah.
Yes, you are an idiot. Because I know that we have the meta-knowledge of...
It's a show and all that, seeing control.
No.
Okay.
The meta-knowledge of the really smart thing, which is both of these sabotages basically happened at the same time.
Sure. Yeah.
There's a reason for that. Like,
Yeah.
It's a part of the test.
Right.
Therefore, you wouldn't have necessarily this happen if it wasn't some part of the test. Now, how they set this up in that way, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, he's doing all this to mess with me. I mean, yeah, even if he is, like, what do you gain out of that? Like,
I understand, like, even if...
out of, like, taking it that way.
Exactly. The sort of the headcanon perspective that I think I might take for this is that all of them are very much thinking about the fact that this is an aspect of the test.
Sure.
And it's such a fundamental thing, and they're all smart, so it's not mentioned in the show, right? The fact that they have shocked expressions when Muta says we're in space, that's, I don't know, I don't have an explanation for that one. But that basically this is the, even with that, even knowing all the logical stuff, right? It's right. But there's still that little insidious thing of like, but this is a test. This is, my whole life has been working up towards this, right? And at this point, it would be so easy for someone to just try and just do a little something, just sabotage it, right? To throw us off so that they get the position and all that. And so, yeah, that combined with isolation and everything, like there's a reason they have a doctor checking up on you every day, because it would be very easy for something like that paranoia to set in.
Yeah.
And so this is just that happening. Yeah. But, yeah, it's
reminding us in a lot of ways how powerful fear is at dumbing the mind, basically. Yeah. That we're also going to ask for you guys to do this very specific cognitive load test of the puzzle at the same time as when your mind is elsewhere. So if you're able to sort all that out and continually actually make progress on the puzzle.
Yeah, keep that level head and be like, all right.
You're doing great. Yep. Nita's the only one that actually seems to be knowing what they're doing here.
Right. Compartmentalizing and still doing the puzzle.
Compartmentalizing, doing the puzzle, and made a deflection joke to spin Furia back in on himself of like, I just thought you stepped on something again. I'm just like, my man is amazing.
Yeah.
That would piss him off so much, and he's just like,
Okay, first off, I took responsibility for what happened there.
Second, but also, I'm too short.
Yeah. The clock's almost on the fucking ceiling. Like that how? Even if it fell off the wall, like.
You think I'm a chimpanzee too, that I can walk on walls?
Okay, that was something I was expecting him to almost bring up of like, this is just turning into a bunch of chimps just flinging shit at each other, you know?
I mean, he's the only one flinging shit. Who's
that's fair.
Shit? Not
that's fair.
Anybody but him.
That is one thing, though, that I'm surprised, like, almost wasn't brought up. Like, granted, there's the whole sound thing, but, like, if you want to know, like, a way that, like, with the clock specifically, it could be broken and no one realized it, other than I guess that someone hit it somewhere. It fell. Right?
Well, no, it wouldn't have broken that way.
Yeah.
Because it was not, Jacob, it's not just that. It fell off, and then someone moved and hit it up on the cabinet there.
Right, yeah, exactly.
No,
so you still have the situation of someone lying about it.
Right. So, in a lot of ways, the part that's the most sus to me about this being a plant is that if you were to choose something that would so directly disrupt everything here, the clock is not just something that's like smart from it being hey, there's a lot of tests that are timed and stuff like that.
Sure.
So that you don't know the time, but Control knows the time. So you don't care about the time being lost because Control has that. At any point, they know what time it is and all that stuff. And you can even count potentially with their regularity of when they give announcements and stuff, knowing there's certain time-related things going on.
Exactly.
Like, this is the point when everybody is asleep, so they're not talking anymore.
Yeah. And maybe, who knows, maybe he is actually doing this as some cutthroat play because he's like, hey, I'm the rocket scientist, I'm older and all that stuff. I will be able to adjust a lot more easily to not having an objective read on time because I know that that's how space is going to be.
Right.
So from my standpoint, I'm going to be good. Right. But it'll rattle some of them, and that'll throw them off, right?
Yeah.
But then you still have the problem of Control seeing you wreck the clock, right? Like,
right. But if someone basically wrecked the clock, moved it over there, and hit it, that's fine and stuff. The one thing I would say that you could potentially deduce here is that of all the people that would basically want to have something be sabotaged here. You literally just had a person get put into a stressful situation where they didn't know up until very recently that they were going to be at a permanent disadvantage with everybody else because of their glasses. He's actually the most suspect of everybody here.
He's balancing out the equation, basically.
He's balancing out the equation, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And he's just not stressed about it because he knows who did it.
He knows who did it. And so it's the, right, the suspicion is the problem, not the actual loss of the clock.
Right.
Right? Other than in the, oh, damn it, I don't actually know how much longer I have left for this puzzle.
Right, but that doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. Like, okay.
And Muta's making the point that it actually doesn't matter. The only thing that matters here is the way that suspicion and fear fucks with your mind.
Right.
So I like that in a lot of ways, he's the one that makes sense from the logical perspective, even though we don't even need to have to guess because Muta just saw him do it.
Right.
But yeah, I love the idea that Muta knows, isn't saying anything, and the reason is not some kind of I want to be the leader in the way that the guy in
with the whole car thing of like, wait, he just looked at the clock.
Right.
Yeah.
He lies basically with the intention to make people feel at ease a little bit. And
sure.
Yet, in some ways, that's not necessarily the best solution here.
Not necessarily the best, and at the same time, there could be those areas where it's helpful, where it's the, if we're not able to figure out who did it necessarily, right? I know who did it, but also why did they do it, and we're still stuck in space with this person.
Right.
Right? We don't want to go into some, sea voyage judiciary, decision-making, right?
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter.
It really doesn't.
And so, okay, I know that it was him. All right, that's something that I can bring up when we're back on solid ground.
Yeah.
And until then, just log it away and it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Maybe keep an eye on him in case he does something that's actually like a lot more like, serious.
I do like social deduction games like this, though, where if this was a part of the test or if this was just something where, there was a game where you had to determine if it was Fukuda, that would be cool, because if you found out who it was and you said, I saw them do this, and he just goes, no, you didn't, you still wouldn't necessarily have any evidence that he did it.
Yeah.
So what he can do is then take this knowledge and go, okay, I'm going to catch him.
Right, I know, but he doesn't know that I know.
He doesn't know that I know. And part of the best thing with these types of situations here is that when you know that somebody else is basically either like, doing something that's duplicitous, deceptive, cheating, what have you, you can basically set them up to basically trip over themselves and go, oh yeah, that thing there, and then they go, oh yeah, and then they reflexively answer. You go, interesting, and then they're like, oh.
This is almost
shit.
the thing where, not entirely related to this, right? Because Muta specifically is keeping information from the team for whatever potential reason, and also maybe the obvious ones, right?
Sure.
But because like this whole thing is a test, in a situation like this where it's like, okay, they're like, it very much seems like Control is poking at us to see how we respond to these kinds of pressures. I would get into the point where I'd want to start externally processing everything, just so that way it's the, hey, this is a test. I don't necessarily know if my actions will be entirely the ones that you want, but I'm going to show my thought process. Well, this to this, Well,
yeah, but that's also a little weird. Like the idea that you're going to make people nervous by literally no filtering your thoughts out and stuff like that. That's just not helpful. That's, if anything, really disruptive. To be like, I'm going to just nonstop talk my entire thought process.
That definitely doesn't work if there are other people in the room, right?
Right.
And yet it's a small enough area that maybe they don't actually have that much privacy. Like,
no, they really don't.
They have a bunch of bunks all in the one hallway,
Yeah, the really only privacy point is when everybody's asleep and you could theoretically get up early.
Or they're in the bathroom and hopefully you have privacy.
Well, not
in the
sound
bathroom.
privacy. That's for sure.
Okay, that's
They're in a sealed space with probably like no external sound environmentally like coming in here.
Right.
So you're hearing those grunts. You're hearing like which one of them is
everyone's
the tough
getting
shitter,
very, very like familiar and acquainted with each other. Yeah.
It's like, yep. Oh, there goes Muta's 3 p.m. shitter break.
You can tell who's shitting based on the grunts.
I mean, yeah, you hear their voices.
Well,
so
right. It's
the same thing.
Yeah. Well, or the kind of thing that I think of is the when you know who is going down the stairs based on like the cadence of the steps going down the stairs. Yeah, exactly. You're like, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's also, I think, a weight thing as well. Like, based
yes,
on how
definitely.
heavy the steps are.
Oh, yeah.
Even more so.
Yeah.
The sound, like
Right.
creaking and stuff. But that's fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
Space Brothers, you surprised me. I thought it was going to be a cut and dry, just, this is JAXA, this is Control, this is obvious.
And it still could be.
And it still could be. I like my theory here of there being
Right.
plants. But, oh, wait. He did this. Interesting.
Yeah. Also, I will say, these two tests are not the same. I'm sorry. Having there be an
sound.
alarm that wakes you up in the middle of the night so you can't get decent sleep.
That's cruel.
That's cruel. Like,
Yeah.
that's... Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But...
I do find that one actually more likely to not be JAXA, though, because if there's a sound, right?
Yeah.
And it went off by him yelling, like, turn that off, and within, like, 2 seconds it was off. Mm-hmm. That, to me, sounds like the kind of thing where they'd immediately go, okay, wait. So do any of you guys have any, like, medical conditions or anything where you, like, need to wake up or something like that?
Oh, sure.
No? Okay, cool. So JAXA, we could all just stay up all night, and if that's what you want us to do, cool. But this is a really shit test to, like,
Yeah, exactly,
try and do that
right,
here.
like-
So, like, I think in a lot of ways it's obvious that it's not JAXA because you suspect primarily that a sound that you can't necessarily track as well until you're
right,
fully
that
awake.
would be part of the test as opposed to, like, the clock where it's the... How the hell would JAXA come in here and break the thing without us knowing? You know?
Right.
There's a lot more of a practical reason why it wouldn't be that.
Right, but you could have
Yeah.
speakers at specific spots for where the people are talking to them, and then
And what I figured the test might be or something is
But maybe they have no speakers where
It's possible. But what I figured the test would be if it was from JAXA with the sound is that it's the, hey, you're still like on a spaceship and everything, right?
something's going wrong somewhere. You need to
Something
go
might be
figure
going
it out.
wrong somewhere, and you have to wake up no matter when it is.
It's a crying baby.
Right.
Someone's got to go
exactly.
deal with them.
And you still have to be able to get your sleep, right? And that I could see being it, right? If that's
Right.
sort of the through line for it. But yeah,
But it's
that,
not the same.
it's
as
not the
what's going
same
on
as
with
just
broken
a
clock.
broken clock. Like
Yeah,
that's oh no. Like, oh
And then
darn.
it might just be narrative convenience that they're having at the same time, and neither of them are tests then.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.